Good evening, everyone. The time is 7:15. This is the Historic Environmental Preservation Board, October 26, 2023. We're going to start by roll call.
As Vice Chair, Gregory Gay doing the roll call. Lakeisha Finn. Zamar Brown. Present. Roman Ferguson. Dolly McIntyre.
Here.
Lakeisha Williams. William Smith. Present. Alex Van Meckel.
Present. And we'll have a moment of silence. And now for the Pledge of Allegiance. By United States of America, the Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Do we have any add-on items this evening?
Mr. Chair, we do not have any add-on items, but there will be a couple of items that will be brought up as a part of a discussion at the appropriate time.
Thank you. And no approval of minutes. We'd like to now open it up for public comments related to any of what you see here on the resolution here. Seeing none, we will proceed and read in the record resolution.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, approving the recommendation of the Historic Environmental Preservation Board to issue a special certificate of appropriateness for the complete interior renovation of the existing structure at 1011 Shar Avenue to strip exterior walls of concrete masonry unit, reconfigure and replace kitchen and all bathroom plumbing fixtures, remove and replace all exterior windows and doors with impact windows and doors per code, remove and replace existing floor joists as needed, repair ceiling rafters as needed, repair and repaint exterior stucco as needed, raise west elevation windows to their original height of 3 feet above finished floor on this historic registered property, provided for corporation recitals, providing for scrivener's errors, providing for an effective date.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if you would like, I'd like to just do an introduction of this particular project.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. If we could have a motion to address this particular.
Yes, and can we have a motion to discuss this?
So moved.
Moved by Board Member Smith,
Second.
second by Board Member McIntyre.
Favor. Yes. To the board, and we have brought this particular item before you. This is something that is very dear to the preservation of historic properties. We do have a property owner who has made a significant investment in acquiring this particular property, and they are seeking to do a full restoration for this particular project. As you can see, contained within your packet are the plans as it relates to the improvements that they seek to make for this particular site. This is one of our registered historic properties. So they are looking to make it significant improvements and to do some particular modifications that will definitely enhance the overall effectiveness of this particular project. The staff has reviewed through the information and provided our input as it relates to what has been provided, and we do recommend approval for this particular project. If you have any other questions, we'll address them at this time.
Mr. Vice Chair,
Yes.
I would like to say that this is an outstanding application. And I would move to approve it right now.
I second that. Board members, does anyone have any comments on this resolution?
So I would say that, being that I'm the architect of record, I have to recuse myself because I cannot vote on it. But obviously, as the architect, obviously I would have in favoritism of it, but I cannot officially vote.
That's okay, I'll vote for you. I'll approve this too.
The only thing I have to say about it, it's wonderful to see this come forth once more. I did want to ask the question, due to quorum one of the last few meetings, I know that this application, this resolution had come forth, but we couldn't vote on it. More or less, we were told that it would, in absence of quorum, go to the administration to have approved. So, you know, I don't want to hang us up from being able to just proceed and vote on, but I'm curious to know why this had to come back to us, if that was initially the route in which it was going to go.
I'll have the city attorney's office respond to that.
Okay.
It's due to the fact, when we reviewed the ordinances that are relevant to the issue, we noticed that the provisions for the city manager approving it did not survive the new ordinances that is for the historic preservation currently.
Perfect. I thank you for that. I think that's important moving forward, and all the more reason for the board to be present. And so thank you for that. Do we have any final comments, board members, before voting? All right, then let's go ahead and get this to the finish line.
Okay, roll call. Roll call. Mr. Ferguson? Okay. Ms. McIntyre?
Yes, in capital letters.
I'll make sure to capitalize. Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Van Meckel?
Yes, with capitals as well.
Item is approved.
Thank you. Moving along, speedy agenda here. Do we have any board comments? I guess we'll go from my right to left. Any comments?
Just that we're short 2 board members, and so we need to request the commission to make appointments, and if possible, if we have any recommendations for potential board members, we should put them forth.
Thank you very much, board member. Board member Ferguson, any comments to end the evening? None whatsoever. All right. Board member Brown, any comments?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
All right. Board member? No? All right. Well, best of luck for
Mr.
my.
Vice Chair,
Yes.
before you conclude the meeting, I'm going to have the city planner, Mr. Robinson, introduce a couple of items that will be part of discussion, something for it to be considered if necessary at the next meeting. So I'd like for him to introduce those items at this time.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Discussion items are.
Can you please introduce yourself one more
Randall
time? Thank
Robinson,
you.
City Planner, City of Opa-locka. The first discussion item is the city's Tree City USA status. And the status is that the recognition lapsed this year, but we are applying for next year. And the application for recognition is due November 14th. So we have our eyes on it, and we will submit an application for next year. The second is the strategy for the installation of historic markers. And Mr. Van Meckel, as you take a lead on the strategy and placement, I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, I'm happy. For those that are not aware, there is an intention to re-engage our historic homeowners with regards to markers, visible markers in the front of their homes, aesthetically pleasing, commemorative, etc. It's been over 30 years since our historic homes have been on the receiving end of a designation, let alone a brass marker. Many have been taken off for a variety of reasons. But needless to say, for those that do not have them, that are currently registered historic sites, we would like to deploy outreach and re-engage these homeowners with a new design. And for those that have one already, then perhaps there's an opportunity of getting them a new design as well that perhaps might look a little more, let's just say, unique to our Opa-locka aesthetic. In the near future and thereafter, I guess you would say phase 3 would be to get buy-in for the 20 plus, 30 plus homes that are in, I would say, in need of designation for protection, for integrity, for pride of the homeowner or whomever owns the property, essentially to go through that process, since we know the homes that are more or less qualified, but there needs to be a willingness on the part of the homeowner to buy into that process. But hopefully in a successful rollout of phase 1 and 2, then phase 3 merits with evidence, visuals to support that this program has been resurrected and that we can get more homes on our registry, because right now it hovers at around 23, if I'm not mistaken. But there are more or less 54 homes that go from 1926 to 1930. And then phase 4, very long term, would be for us as a board and in the evolution of this program to examine homes that we pass by every day and we don't even think technically have earned historic status. And by the county standard, by every historic community, that's 50 plus years. That makes Opa-locka truly a historic and complete district, because all of our homes were built from 1926 to just after the 1950s. And so our key area of focus is the Moorish revival. We need to infuse interest into saving those structures as our foundation, as our heritage. And then we can expand on that to talk about the post-war years and the ranch style. Some deco had kind of sprung up in the midst of that. But again, Opa-locka really does have a complete historic district. So I hope I spoke to the full extent, but the immediate needs are who needs them, who wants new ones, and then how do we get new ones in, right?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Van Meckel. Thank you for informing the process, the strategy. The other two discussion items, number 1, are designations. We want to let the board know that the staff plans to move forward with the designation of the old fire station police headquarters, and also to move forward on the designation of the downtown historic district. I understand there's a sign on Shahrazad that said that downtown is a historic district. It isn't. So we plan to make that sign be true.
Wonderful.
So be bringing that forward either next month or the follow.
Excellent. To follow, just a quick question. Is Preserve America the initiative that many historic communities have gotten designation for, similar to a Main Street, but more so a commemorative designation? Is that still an active program that you're aware of?
Certainly look into that.
Okay. I just know driving into some of the older communities as old as ours, like Coral Gables, they have it mounted in many of their gateways. It says this is a Preserve America community. I'm not mistaken, First Lady Laura Bush kind of did something with this, but it's worth looking into because I
Absolutely.
loved seeing the
Absolutely.
sign and I thought Opa-locka should be deserving of that. So
Thank you. Any other comments?
I do want to welcome you, Mr. Robinson. I know that you've been here a little bit, but for those that don't know, his reputation precedes him in being very accomplished in the historic preservation space. And I know that staff is very grateful. The manager's very happy to
I'm
know.
grateful they hired me.
Yes, and it is true, just for evidence and for the record, this is board member Smith's copy of Memo that bears
So,
Mimo. I'm so sorry.
That's
I'm just
okay.
so
I'll
focused
say
on
that to the day I
Opa-locka. I
die.
never know what to say. But needless to say, in your first chapter, and you had alluded it to in the workshop, but an intro to Mimo really does have our historic city hall photograph in the first chapter.
it was
So
written in 2004.
in 2004. So, Mr. Robinson, I think this was long overdue for you to walk through the gateways of our Arabian Nights
I-
city.
I-
And we're just so grateful that you're here, thankful that staff has you and that we can
I'm
find
thankful
one.
I have that staff.
Yes, it's
Take
synonymous.
direction.
So we very much, I'm not ending the year because I'd like to believe that we have a meeting or two left before the end of 2023, but we're well positioned, I think, for a lot of great stuff in 2024. As a general note, we need to start having conversations about a centennial committee that I would really like for this board to either spearhead or all of us be involved with. For the record, Miami Springs is celebrating their 100th year anniversary the same year we are. They've already expressed interest, their chair, in perhaps coalescing and doing something in conjunction with. But that being said, they are 1 year in already in a 3-year journey to their 100-year anniversary. And I apologize if it's been discussed or if it's been mentioned publicly, but we need to establish our centennial committee and all of that entails. And I'm sure that involves park rehabilitations and a centennial park, perhaps recommemoration of an existing space, as well as our historic grant program. The markers, everything is in line with supporting what centennial activities could look like. So
Thank you.
just for food for
Perhaps
thought,
we'll put that on the next agenda.
that would be wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. And welcome again.
Thank you. It's great to be inside the gates.
I like it. We need a few gates. The only one last comment that I personally want to make is for those that are watching, extending an invitation to the November 4th walking tour, historic walking tour of the core of Opa-locka, focusing on 1925 to 1930. It is going to be held in conjunction with 10 North Group, formerly the Opa-locka Community Development Corporation. It is going to be held and is free, mind you, for all to attend, residents and everyone alike, at the historic train station at 490 Alibaba Avenue, 10 a.m. November 4th. Go to discoveropalaka.org, Eventbrite. It's all on there just to be able to account for it. And we encourage you to invite your friends so that they too can experience and learn about our history. And that's in conjunction with the Opa-locka Preservation Association, which just kickstarted its outreach to every historic homeowner in the last week. Over 55 recipients got letters basically welcoming them into the newly created volunteer organization, which is the first time since 1987 that we've had an independent, non-city affiliated preservation group, which is just the beginning to help support the efforts that we as a board are doing, as well as staff that really need people to show. So those are my end comments. And yes.
So I just have one question. Did we want to talk about the conversation we had earlier about the number or trying to increase the number of
To increase the total of 9 or to get 2 more members?
get 2 more members?
I think, Mr. Gay.
If I could address that, we are looking at some legislation as it relates to the number of people on the board, as well as creating some rules and regulations so that we could have a better opportunity for meeting quorum. So we will be working on that particular legislation. It's actually being developed as we speak. So we will be providing that to you most likely at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm glad that that brought up. Thank you, board member. Simply because I know that we've been challenged to meet quorum because we have such a high amount, and I think we need to level out and lower that amount at this juncture. And just, invest and enroll in those that are showing up to make sure that we don't miss a beat and we don't hold any homeowner up on their permits. So with that being said, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Moved by board member McIntyre, second by board member Brown. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of October.
Enjoy. Thank you.